Hi guys, Steve from Crossbow College here. There is not much that is more disappointing than having to end your crossbow session early because of an equipment malfunction, especially when it is something that you should have caught during your pre-inspection and which you can fix in under 10 minutes once you get back home. It is in times like these that you are going to be very happy to have the right tool on hand when the problem occurs. This is why this lesson is on what to put in your toolkit. I own several crossbows, and I have found that it is a good practice to have a toolkit that is specific to each crossbow. By customizing your toolkit to the crossbow, you will have on hand only the correct sizes and types of tools that you need, along with any spare parts that are specific to that crossbow. This practice keeps your toolkit light and easy to find just what you are looking for and need. I use different bags for my toolkits so that I can quickly identify whether or not I have the correct toolkit for the crossbow I'm going to be using. What to put inside your toolkit? Well, Allen wrenches are a good place to start with creating your toolkit. You will want to only have the wrenches that fit your crossbow. I strongly recommend that you carry extras of the smaller sizes just in case you drop one. Also, try to use the steel finish instead of the black finish, since it makes them easier to find when dropped into grass or dirt. Double check and confirm that your wrenches fit and that you have all the sizes you are going to need. Any special wrenches that are required. Sometimes these wrenches have a very thin profile and a traditional wrench will not work. Since wrenches tend to be heavier than other hand tools, you will only want to carry as many as you need to. Super glue, also known as duct tape's best friend. When I first put this into my toolkit, I did it mostly as a joke. Then one day my retention clip broke. Believing that my day was over, I picked up the broken part and was putting it in my toolkit when I saw the super glue. After carefully removing the rest of the clip from the crossbow, I used the super glue to put it back together. After I waited a few minutes, I was able to remount it on my crossbow and continued using it until I received a replacement in the mail. Wax and rail lube. Just as a part of proper maintenance, I always keep string wax and rail lubricant with my toolkit. And before you ask, yes, I keep string wax and rail lubricant in all of my crossbow toolkits. It is one of the least expensive things that you can do to preserve the life and functionality of your crossbow. A couple of dimes, depending on what kind of scope I am using. Some scopes use a coin or a standard screwdriver to adjust the scope settings. Although to be honest, on those types of scopes I usually just keep a dime underneath the cap of each one. Detachable decocking bolt. I have a detachable decocking bolt that I keep in my toolkit, just in case I've forgotten or mislaid my normal decocking bolt. This small device allows me to replace the bolt tip with a decocking tip. It's not my first choice of decocking since it can put a lot of strain on potentially one of your better bolts, but it is a much cheaper alternative to dry firing the crossbow. The spare parts that I choose to put in my toolkit are always specific to the crossbow. This means that if I need to replace a part on my crossbow that is only available from the manufacturer, then I will put it in only that exact part. Even though there are many parts that are universal among crossbows, it is always better and easier to work with the correct parts. Let's look at some of these. Batteries for anything that I have on my crossbow. I always bring a backup battery for my spare just in case my spare doesn't work. Retainer clip. Remember my super glue story from a moment ago? Well, live and learn, right? Screws and nuts for the railed equipment. Losing a mounting screw for your scope can leave you with an unusable and unreliable scope. This same concept applies to any other equipment that you may have attached to the Picatinny rail. Knocks are also helpful if your bolt becomes loose or out of alignment. This is one of those situations where super glue is going to come in handy. Spare string if I think there is any possibility that I might have problems with my string breaking. Even if you don't bring it with you, it is a good idea to have a spare string just in case. If I'm using a recurve crossbow, I bring a stringer with me. I do this for two reasons. If my bolts aren't reaching my target, I use it to remove my string, and then I give it, the string, a couple of twists before I put it back on, which helps to increase the string tension. The second reason is in case one of my loops starts to slip off from the limb tip. A limb tip. I've never had two limb tips get damaged at the same time, but I have had limb tips crack on me, so I keep a spare. A tube of blue Loctite. If I find that I am constantly having to tighten down a particular screw, I will put some blue Loctite on it to keep it in place. I use the blue version because if I had to, it would let me remove and replace the screw. The red version of Loctite is almost as strong as superglue, and that part may never come out again. With my recurve crossbows, I bring a string spreader. This comes in handy if you use string silencers and they may start to come loose, or you may want to change their locations. Do not use a string spreader on a compound crossbow. Just trust me on this. A good cleaning cloth or two are very handy to use on your scope lenses, especially if you are in a damp situation. I always carry an extra one in case I dirty up the first one. You may be asking yourself, what else will I need? This is a great question. When trying to figure out what else you might need to bring with you, do a mental walkthrough. Imagine yourself doing everything that you are going to be doing during your crossbow session. Then imagine what you will do if various situations occur and try to anticipate what tools or parts you are going to need to have on hand. If you are smart, you will keep a list of what items are in each tool kit. Use this list to make sure that your tool kit is properly stocked before leaving. Also bring a pencil or pen with you so that if you think of something else to keep in your tool kit, you can add it to the list and then add the item to your tool kit when you get back home. Every time you go out, always try to keep thinking of what you can add to or change on your tool kit to keep it up to date. Your tool kit should be a living kit, meaning that it is adaptable to your current or predicted situations. If an item in your toolkit becomes moot because you are no longer using that item on your crossbow anymore, remove the tool and/or spare parts for it and lighten your toolkit in the process. We'll be right back after this quick message. In summary, try to think of your toolkit as your crossbow's first aid kit. You'll want to keep it stocked and ready in case of emergency. Please give this video a thumbs up to help me score a hit, and subscribe to this channel for additional lessons on crossbows. Please leave your comments below and I will try to reply as soon as possible. Thank you for watching and enjoy your crossbow.